We've got some breaking news out of Gilbert, Arizona. We are showing you this live video. This is at Val Vista and Elliot in Gilbert, where a vehicle hit two pedestrians. That's the Circle K right there on the right side of the screen. This is a fairly busy area. They're asking you to avoid this intersection at this time, as southbound Val Vista is going to be closed. But a busy intersection. It's got multiple banks and ATMs in the area. A tutor time, and then behind some of those stores, and as you can see as they kind of pan out, there are a lot of homes in this part of Gilbert. There's a bus stop specifically on this corner, if you're wondering perhaps why where these people were going, but that is the helicopter you can see that is taking someone, one patient being transported by helicopter to a trauma facility, and that is Air 15 getting you that video of the one patient being transported by helicopter to a trauma facility, and then one we do know has unfortunately passed. Again, this was a vehicle that hit two pedestrians at Val Vista and Elliot, and one of those individuals has died. Another is being transported by helicopter to a trauma facility. The area of Val Vista and Elliot, again, multiple banks, and a coffee shop, a tutor time, a bus stop on this corner, so plenty of options in regards to where those people were headed, but this is a neighborhood. When they pan out from, and my screen is frozen, hopefully yours is not, there we go. When they pan out, you see all of the homes around this area too, so we have no idea what the victims, their ages, if they were male or female. We'll have that information as soon as all parties are informed and all the families know, but we do know that you should avoid this intersection at this time, as southbound Val Vista is going to remain closed while they continue to investigate this incident of a vehicle hitting these two pedestrians and one unfortunately dying. The other we know is being transported by helicopter to a trauma facility. So if you can, avoid this area while investigators continue to try to understand what happened here this morning when a car hit two individuals, one dying and the other being transported to that trauma facility. Let's take a look at Gilbert Police's Twitter feed quickly and see if there are any additional updates. No new updates from the Gilbert Police Department. Heading over to Gilbert Fire and Rescue and seeing if there are any updates here. Last update was 10 minutes ago, where they told us that one patient will be transported by helicopter to a trauma facility, and that is what we were looking at earlier with that yellow chopper. So again, if you are in this area, if you're in the Gilbert area, avoid this intersection. This is Val Vista and Elliot. As police continue to investigate this horrible accident this morning. Very upsetting news. One individual has died and the other being transported to a trauma unit or a trauma facility after they were hit. They were struck by a vehicle this morning at Val Vista and Elliot. Devastating news. And we're going to continue to keep you updated as we get new information on this. But again, there is a bus stop right there at this area. There's multiple ATMs. There's a coffee shop. It's a very busy area in Gilbert, Arizona. So our thoughts are with all involved, and we especially are rooting for the individual that is in the helicopter headed to the trauma facility. We're going to continue to bring you updates as we get them. But again, just to stress, avoid the intersection at southbound Val Vista. It's closed, but the intersection Val Vista and Elliot, avoid that area as officers continue to investigate this accident from earlier this morning. And again, you're looking at that chopper, Gilbert Fire and Rescue tweeting about 15 minutes ago, one patient will be transported by helicopter to a trauma facility. Avoid Val Vista and Elliot. That is what you're looking at right there. And just to give you an idea of how long we've been on top of this, 37 minutes ago, Gilbert police tweeted first responders heading to Val Vista and Elliot to assist with a vehicle versus pedestrian accident. Be aware of possible lane closures. So that was about 40 minutes ago that the Gilbert Police Department informed everybody of the accident in this area. So you can see it's still a very active scene, and they are still telling people to avoid this area as they've shut down the intersection southbound Val Vista. And they are going to continue to investigate. And also we are waiting for that patient, I believe, to be transported in that chopper there. But this all started about 40 minutes ago with a report of a vehicle versus two pedestrians. One of those individuals has unfortunately passed this morning. Some of you mentioning the high school is near this area as well. You know, the 60 is not too far off. So a very busy area in Gilbert, Arizona. There's a tutor time near here, multiple banks, ATMs, and also a bus stop. So perhaps it was somebody trying to catch the bus. We just don't know. But some pretty heartbreaking news out of Gilbert, Arizona this morning. 2 individuals struck by a vehicle. One of those individuals has died, the other being taken by helicopter to a trauma center, a trauma facility. Some of you posting in the Facebook comments that you live in this area. Jennifer says she lives behind the Safeway, and this is the norm here, she says. Horrible. Thanks so much for tuning in, Jennifer. Again, our thoughts are with all involved here as we cover this fatality in Gilbert, Arizona. You are looking at the intersection of Val Vista and Elliot. Officers asking that you please avoid this area this morning as they investigate this fatality. 2 individuals were hit by a vehicle. Earlier this morning, we received our first notification from the Gilbert Police Department a little over 40 minutes ago. One of those victims is being flown to a trauma center, and they're trying to figure out what happened this morning. This is a very busy intersection. There are a lot of individuals and families that live around this intersection as well. And again, we say discretion is advised because you don't know what you're going to see. This is raw video. This is live video as our chopper zooms in on some of the stuff you see there on the street. That does appear to be the vehicle involved. I know some of you were speculating about that in the comment section, but all we know right now is that one individual has passed. Unfortunately, one individual has died as a result of this accident. One is being airlifted to a trauma facility in the area, and Gilbert police are asking that you please avoid this area right now as they continue to investigate this scene. And you can see the cones throughout the area and how much they've blocked off this section. But, you know, again, it's a very busy part of the city. There's a bus stop here, coffee shop, multiple ATMs. And then when they pan out, you see all of the homes that are around here, behind the Safeway, behind the Tudor Time. And again, we can't stress enough how much our hearts are with the individuals that were affected by this accident this morning. And as we get additional details, we continue to communicate with Gilbert Fire and the police department. As we get more details, we're going to bring that to you. Unfortunately, as they're extremely busy right now, I can't bring that information to you as quickly as I'd like to. So I appreciate your patience. But as we get additional details, we're absolutely going to bring those to you. You're looking at Val Vista and Elliot, where there was a fatality. One individual has died, another being airlifted to a trauma center. And this was a vehicle versus two pedestrians. As we get more information, we will bring you that. Thanks for your patience. And if you're just tuning in, you are looking at the intersection at Val Vista and Elliot, where it was a car versus two pedestrians. One of those pedestrians has died this morning. Another is being airlifted to a trauma facility. So many of you in the comments are from this area and talking about how you feel like there has been a increase in accidents, a lot of accidents in this area. So interesting to have your feedback. And a lot of you live in this area. So we are trying to give you updates on the status, but it looks like they tweeted that the one patient was going to be transported by helicopter to a trauma facility around 21 minutes ago. No recent tweets from Gilbert Fire and Rescue. Obviously, they're busy and we appreciate their work. So we encourage that, not tweeting, but just to give you kind of an update of how we've been following along this morning. Here are additional updates. This started 45 minutes ago when we saw a tweet from them saying first responders were heading to Val Vista and Elliot to assist with a vehicle versus pedestrian accident. They said, be aware of possible lane closures. And again, that was 45 minutes ago. 32 minutes ago, they updated media and Twitter followers saying, update, collision at Val Vista and Elliot has at least one fatality. Southbound Val Vista will be closed at this intersection. So that was 34 minutes ago that we last heard from the Gilbert Police Department. Now you jump to Fire and Rescue's Twitter feed, and they've been updating us as well. 40 minutes ago, motor vehicle versus two pedestrians at Val Vista and Elliot, both patients in critical condition, avoid intersection. Now that was 40 minutes ago. Since then, we know that one of those individuals has died. So at 40 minutes ago, they were saying both patients in critical condition. Well, now we know that one of those patients, one of those victims has died. And there 22 minutes ago, they tweeted that they were going to transport the individual that you're seeing right now to a trauma facility, again stressing to avoid the area of Val Vista and Elliot. So that is the information we have for sure from Gilbert Fire and Rescue and the Gilbert Police Department. Otherwise, you and I are watching this live stream together. We're seeing all of this. This is raw video. We're seeing it both for the first time together, and we are getting our updates from our own eyes. This is a very busy area, as some of you have told me in the comment section. And then when they pan out behind the Safeway, behind the Circle K, behind all of these little shops, there are a ton of homes. There are a ton of homes around this golf course where this helicopter, or the park, the park where the helicopter landed. But there are multiple banks and ATMs. There's a coffee shop. It's kind of in the heart of a neighborhood. There's a Safeway here. And there's a bus stop right here at this corner. So we don't know where the pedestrians were going this morning, but obviously it's a very busy area. And a lot of you have said in the comments that you feel like these accidents are happening more often than normal. So interesting feedback from you. But we're going to continue to hope that this individual that they're transporting right now, that everything turns out all right on their end. A devastating morning out of Gilbert, Arizona, where a car struck two pedestrians. One of those individuals has died, and we are watching the other transported to a trauma facility this morning. We're going to continue to bring you updates as we get them. But our hearts are broken for that family, and our thoughts are with them. But all involved, we should say. So we appreciate your patience as we try to get you additional details. But obviously those first responders are very busy right now, and we're not going to harass them for any new information at this time. But as we receive information, we are going to bring it to you. And we appreciate your patience this morning on this Thursday morning, and we appreciate you watching ABC 15. And just to give you a heads up, we've got a pretty busy morning here in the ABC 15 newsroom, so we're going to be heading to some additional scenes here soon. But I just want to give you a recap of what you're looking at. Two people hit by a car in Gilbert, one killed. Gilbert officials are working a deadly crash involving two pedestrians right now. According to Gilbert fire crews, two people were hit by a vehicle near Elliot and Val Vista this morning. Police confirmed one victim was unfortunately killed in this crash. Fire officials say a medical helicopter was used to take one of the patients to a trauma facility, and you just saw that right here on ABC 15. Drivers are urged to avoid the intersection while officials investigate. Stay with ABC 15 for updates. We're going to only stay on top of this scene for another about 4 minutes, and then we're going to head to some other breaking news. But if you stay with ABC 15 throughout the morning, we should be bringing you those updates. We appreciate your patience, and thanks for watching. All right, and before we leave this scene, we are preparing any moment now to leave this scene. I'm just going to give you a recap one more time. 2 people hit by a car in Gilbert. One of those individuals is dead. Gilbert officials are working on a deadly crash involving 2 pedestrians. According to Gilbert fire crews, 2 people were hit by a vehicle near Elliot and Val Vista this morning. Police confirmed 1 victim was unfortunately killed in the crash. Fire officials say a medical helicopter was used to take one of the patients to a trauma facility. Drivers are urged to avoid the intersection while officials investigate. Thank you so much for watching with ABC 15. We're going to go ahead and stop this live stream as soon as Chopper heads to their next location.